Well, I suppose I'm live again. And as I've made these transitions in my life, and it's pretty interesting. And by the way, I realized the degree of potential narcissism that can be perceived through doing videos like this. But it's a factor of reality that we really must consider when we step out to do something different and to really just want to make a difference for other people. And how many of these videos are actually out there where, we've got people telling all kinds of things, and we've got social media influencers that basically distill reality, and they give you the sweetest version, the nectar of whatever they want you to perceive about their life. And you can live into the honesty about it by simply going, okay, well, that is a factor and a point in time that they experience it. But the reality is that, excuse me, there's a lot of downtime. There's a lot of the ugly that human beings get into and that we do. And I figured while I'm changing out the radiator of my car, simultaneously while working, by the way. So if my boss reaches out for any reason and I need to do anything additional than the work that I've already caught up on, then, obviously need to get to that. But it's become incredibly apparent and obvious to me that as a society, we're slipping further and further into the narcissistic traits that give way to opportunities for the anti-social personality values. And you know what? I've got a 2-year-old son. He has such an amazing mother with a beautiful soul that I love dearly. There's who I am as a whole, and the bare truth of who I am is not easy to express. And I look at this as going, you know what? If the world's going to go one direction and try to make everything just look better and to make everything this distilled version of reality that really sets into more depression and upset and frustration, because when that's what you think other people are going through, what they're experiencing, and you don't get those enough of that time, because when you watch the videos that they put out or however they're influencing you, you only get that snippet that they have probably produced and put through a production value, that you don't get the reality of them. And then you become more distant from other people because in your mind, other people have a better life. So you're likely to think, you know what, my life sucks. The reality is theirs does too. And then it doesn't. And this is all of our lives. I think realness is what we all need right now. Or what will be appreciated. Bring us back to a center where it's okay to be wrong. It's okay to mess up, man. It's okay to take on mistakes as opportunities for growth. So, I'm sitting here and I'm sweating. It's Florida. It's, we're almost in June. I've made big changes in my life, and I've realized a lot of things about who I am as a person. And if I want to make a different world for my son, I can't make that world for him directly, necessarily. I need to teach him how to be the man that he needs to become by being the man that he needs to, learn from. And I'm not making this about a gender value. I need to be the human being that is best to guide and develop my child, and to offer that love to other people. I love people, man. I do. I come from really, really loving and appreciating human beings. Now, I also have times where I absolutely hate human beings because of them doing things that are just really self-serving and destructive. And a lot of them do it right now. We have this insane desire to do it for the humor of it or the clout value or whatever the hell that thing is that's going to turn them into some sort of, internet sensation. We're missing what it's like to really be just alive. I don't want to live in that fabricated reality. And I hope that you guys join me in this. We're starved for what's real. And what real? Yeah, it sucks. But then again, what sucks is great, because if you get only the good stuff all the time, shit, in the nutrition world, you get diabetes, very likely. Or other lifestyle conditions that come from having a very comfortable life. In the business world, if things get too easy, you'll make a really big mistake because you haven't had enough of the hard times to regulate. So, So now that I'm back in my home, it's the first home that I purchased. It's the only home that I've purchased. I've had a lot of time to reflect, and I'll have a lot more to reflect. I've also had to realize that my radical need to be responsible and to take on responsibility has generated hardship for other people. And if they're not prepared for that hardship to take it on as opportunity for growth, then blame will be in its place. At some point in time, I hope that that is understood and appreciated. Hard decisions are not easy to make. And I do hope that, we all decide that to do what's easy is sometimes the wrong thing and often kind of ends up in the wrong thing. So, yeah, I'm going to have some more thoughts while I put in some work. So hopefully I don't show anything that shouldn't be shown on the internet here by moving around and not realizing the angle I'm working. But what the hell? So anyway, yeah, this is the first time getting in here doing this and changing out a radiator. So for anybody that wants to follow along, I'm just going to share some thoughts while I go through this. And I hope that it inspires something, as I've come to realize a lot of things, and one of the things that I've realized is that I spend a lot of time wanting to grow, and I've gotten so addicted to growth that it can really lead to some challenges for other people. And that's where I made the statement that if they don't have the agreement and enrollment of the change, then typically that's filled with blame. And if it's not coming at you, it's likely they're blaming themselves. And it takes an act of maturity to reach out and to let them know, to let these people know. Like my own personal experience now with my son's mother, it's easy for her to blame herself. It's easy for her to jump to blaming anybody, but, she doesn't really understand, and I don't hold that against her. I've realized in the time that I've spent being the partner she needed me to be, being the father that I thought that I needed to be for my son, because, I'm a first-time father. Sure, there's books written, but I got to tell you, a lot of people, they talk from a narrow perspective, and it doesn't always accommodate for the other aspects of life. I've also come to realize that my greater intention is to just try to spread love. And love's easy when it's easy. Like when life's going the right direction, love is real easy to spread. What isn't easy to spread is, the understanding necessary to really go through things and to get other people to understand what you're going through, because it's easy to go to what you're going through, and no one's at fault for that. Human beings do what human beings do, and I really don't want to create fault human beings being human beings. You know, I'd rather create opportunity to come together enough that perhaps we'll come together and get past our shortcomings and finally stop the stagnation. You know, we're convinced that life, that we're the pinnacle of existence and intelligence and growth and opportunity, and that we're just so advanced in so many ways, but yet we're actually not. It's an arrogant position to be in, because you kind of close down and then you leverage off one strength and you let other things come to the point that they're not, you know, that other things come to the point that they're not that valuable. You know, technology has definitely moved us forward. Hell, look at what I'm doing right now. Bring this back 2,000 years and this would have been some sort of ridiculous technology. You know, it's just, there's something else about this life that we really should be considerate of. We got a lot of places to develop in. You know, a lot. It's a lot of fun to have too. By the way, fun's not always doing the easy thing. Oh, fun can be really challenging, but then you get a result out of it. Damn it, if that result doesn't feel good, because you may have prepped for it, you work for it, like, you know, exercise and getting into a better shape. Something I haven't shared with a lot of people is really my upbringing and my history. I was everybody's friend in high school. I was the heavyset kid. And I wasn't, you know, fat, but I wasn't in shape. I exercised, but, you know, I just had a time period that it was different, you know. I wasn't the most aesthetically pleasing to look at. I'm not saying that I am now either. I'm not that, just not at that level of my thinking. But I know that I'm not an ugly man. But they also know that, you know, there are definitely people that look better than I do. By all means. I have a feeling that is a vowel. So, yeah. That's the first time taking out my radiator. I'm learning some things here, and you're watching me learn in real time. So I came from that, and then that created a pattern of behavior that I already had a predisposition for having as a strength, because my father was an incredibly intelligent man. And, you know, I give him a lot of credit for a lot of things, because, you know, he's deserving of a lot of credit. And, you know, I've regularly referred to this, because now being a father, I realize the pains of having children, and then the seriousness that at some point in time your child may not agree with your decisions, and his mother, or your child's mother, if you're the man or the husband, and or whatever, they may not agree with it, and who's there to influence your child? And my father, throughout all his faults, he had them. Smartest man I've ever known. I value intelligence. I'm a highly curious person myself, and I spend a lot of time in curiosity, but my father was the smartest man that I know, and that's not because of the paternal relationship or the family relationship and his relationship with me paternally. It's just the fact he is an incredibly intelligent person. And he represented a great degree of unrefined intelligence, but he's incredibly refined in his intelligence in some places. And in other places, they were very feral, but obvious that he was very intelligent. Feral meaning that it wasn't overly guided by, you know, some sort of structure that made him more successful with it. So he had to develop in the way that he did. And I went through the struggle, and I do not blame my parents for anything. I'm actually incredibly grateful, because I would not be the person that I am today had I not gone through the hardships. And my parents' relationship, there was definitely the children were, against our father. And that was, my mom was in pain, and she vented that pain. And we could respect and or associate her pain with ours because of being in the same household, and started looking for specific cues that made us think that whatever she was going through was actually, in fact, what we were going through, based off the behavioral values of our father and then what the relationship they had. And I'm doing everything that I can to break the pattern so that the way my father's legacy is for some people is not what mine will be, as responsibly as I can be. If you ask my youngest brother and my mother who my father was, you won't hear anything specifically good or enlightening or desirable. It might be dramatic and engaging, but it won't be the virtuous human being that he was. And I've learned from his lessons enough that I know that I cannot follow that path and create the same thing. So the vulnerability of being true to who I am. And that's the intent of this entire effort, the work that I'm doing right now with the Maturity Project, is that I really want everyone. Let's see how I can get this thing positioned here. I really intend to create opportunities for insights, a way of looking at things differently. I'm not saying that I'm right. Look, not every insight is right. But as long as it inspires you, it leads you to something that you can qualify as right for yourself. So I'm highly, highly motivated to share the real person. I spent most of my life not sharing who I am because of the potential of upsetting the people that I really want to be there in my life. And now I realize that that's a prison in its own. Yeah, it's a prison in its own sense, because to lack self-expression is to restrict yourself from specific behaviors, specific opportunities, and to express yourself fully is an incredibly freeing experience. And prison is to take away your ability to express yourself and navigate your life in such a way that you have new opportunities and really opportunity to just be you. So, yeah. Things that I really just want to ponder with you guys. Think about what prison is and what it stands for. Just to take away your freedom. To lose your self-expression is taking away some of your freedoms. Hopefully this isn't the John Cena effect, by the way. I don't see myself in any way being like John Cena. That dude is in incredible shape, but right now I can see in the camera that I'm definitely showing some vascularity. It's a little distracting for me, so I hope it's not the same for you guys. That'd be the physical maturity and the emotional qualifying maturity elements of this whole thing. By the way, that's not a bug. It's a filter to try to reduce some of the extra noise for you guys. Yeah. So anyway, really like to just inspire people to see other opportunities for life. Inspiration is such a valuable thing that exceeds just insight. Now, if you have insights that inspire, now that's the sweet spot. And the insight itself doesn't necessarily need to be correct, completely accurate. It just has to inspire. Ooh, well, that is in no way bueno, as the kids like to say. Just got a little bit of radiator fluid all over the engine, but you know what? Not the little garden hose can't help. I'm kidding. I'll clean it up responsibly. So anyway, you checking out my ass? All right, well, I've got to dig into this thing, and it's going to be a little bit more invasive, and I don't want to sit there and moon you guys, or even through these shorts, show off my squats. Anyway, all right, well, hey, let's, I'm geared to grow, and I hope that I can inspire the same thing in others, so join me in this process, you know, in this venture. Join the Maturity Project. So get geared to grow. It's not easy, by the way, and this is not for the faint of heart, but this is for the people that really want to experience a fulfilled life. So join me in it, will you? All right. Until next time, I am your host, Chad Everett Broshears, or Sir Chad Everett Broshears to some. If you know, you know. Until next time, again, this is the Maturity Project. Share this video with people in your life that can help break the ice. You know, so share it for the icebreaker. And, you know, we got a world to get to. So let's get to it, you know. But first, let's work on ourselves. Otherwise, path to hell is paved with good intentions. So let's avoid that one if we can, okay? Until next time, we'll see you. Let's get to it. Geared to grow, baby.